Alright everybody, excellent. I'm going to be making a tutorial video. Might be two parts, depends. This is going to be for XLINK KAI for the PS2 mainly, and for the game Socom2. For all those Socomers out there, and it'll also apply to anybody pretty much playing most of the games out there on the PlayStation 2, and a little bit changes with the PS3, but this video really is just going to concentrate on the game I like, which is Socom2, which anybody who played the game in the years past obviously will be missing that game a lot. So here it is, best game in my opinion, third-person shooter, Socom2, and that's what we're going to be helping you with. We're going to download and get started on a program that can help everyone play Socom2 again online, but instead of doing it the way we used to do it, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be run through a computer program called XLINK KAI. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the basics. We're just going to go to the Internet Explorer, alright, Google, and you're just going to type up XLINK space KAI, okay? Now, that's going to bring you to this main screen, which is going to be this one up here. That's the one you're going to want, alright? XLINK KAI, and it's going to be team xlink.co.uk. So that's the one that you're going to want to get on. Now this is the main page. I would just save this in your favorites just to make sure, because you're going to probably go there several times. Now they have these little tabs up here, very small, okay? I don't know why they did that, but save it in the favorites. I'm going to log out. This is my Socom name, which is, you know, everyone had their name. It's big, so I'm just going to log out. So this is what you're going to see. First thing you want to do is just sign up. So you're going to click on this sign up tab. Alright. It's free to sign up. You got to just fill this basic stuff out here. Alright. And then scroll all the way down and then just hit submit. You know, no big deal. They're going to ask you for an email address. Some of the emails that are not used, are not really functional with or compatible with XLINK KAI software, is like Hotmail and Yahoo accounts. So I just use it. Gmail's fine. Just use a Gmail email account. They'll email you a not a password, but you know, just make sure you verify it, and then you just you're done. And then next thing you want to do after you just sign up is go to this download tab. All right, you just click on that, and then you can click on this little drop down, and pretty much the first one here is XLINK KAI Evolution 7.4, which is already here, and you just download it and you run it. Okay, now I've already done that, so we're just gonna bypass that. Once you download it, okay, it's gonna come up here in your, now it might just be as an icon, I really don't recall. It might just be an icon here on your desktop, but you can there's going to be 3 of them. I pinned them to the taskbar. It's a little easier. So you have one that's called Start User Interface, Start KAI, and then Configure KAI. Okay. So now we've registered with your Socom name, whatever you use. You downloaded the program. Okay. And then now there are several steps out of quite a few steps. So that's why I said we might have to make part 2. But I want to make sure, because I didn't have a lot of information on this, and it's just all touch and go, watching YouTube videos like crazy, trying to figure out how this stupid thing works, so you can log on with your PS2 and start shooting the hell out of people back like in the day on Socom2. Okay, so next step is we're going to go to each one of these programs. We're just going to start the first one, Start User Interface. Okay, and you're going to right click on it and go down to Properties. Alright, once you get this Properties window, you're going to go down to Compatibility. It will probably not be checkmarked, so just place a check mark and make sure out of all these 3 you click the one that says Windows XP Service Pack 2. Alright, and then you put a click down here under Run this program as administrator. Alright, hit apply and OK, and then we're going to do that for each of the other 2. Alright, same thing, go down to Properties. Alright, go over here to Compatibility, take Run Program, make sure you have it on Service Pack 2. The reason that we do this is, one, on the website for XLINK KAI, the guide, it seems to run better the program when you do that. I've actually run it on Service Pack 3, but I think it just runs a little smoother following their directions. Alright, so same thing, this is the last one, Configure Kai. So you just do the exact same thing with all three. Go over to compatibility, make sure you click on here, make sure they're all three the same, Service Pack 2, and apply and OK. Alright, that's the next step. Now what we're going to have to do is, and I'll probably put in the other video, is we have to do some configuration with the PlayStation. You have to get the MAC address and the last four numbers of the MAC address, whatever it happens to be, you know, F321 or whatever. I'm going to show you how you get to the Kai website, and it gives you an IP configurator. It's going to give you an IP address, and we're going to have to write that down, and that's what you're going to manually program in your PS2. But as far as computer-wise goes, okay, the next thing we're going to want to do is head over to Control Panel. Alright, we're going to go over to, I'm using Windows 7. Alright, so I'm just going to go to Network and Sharing. Then Change Adapter Settings. Okay, now I'm using a regular Cat5 Ethernet cord. Alright, I have Comcast cable I have here. So it runs out of my cable modem. Alright, right into my router. I have a D-Link router, and then of course Cat5 to the computer, and the other Cat5 runs to the PS2. That's kind of a standard setup. I'm not using my wireless right now. So what you want to do, if you're using the Ethernet connection like I am, alright, for example, you're going to right click on that, go down to Properties, okay. There's two things we're going to want to get from here. First off, you're going to go to Sharing, and this will probably not have a check mark on it, so you're going to put a check mark and then just hit OK. Alright, that's allow other network users to connect to this computer's internet connection, and that you're going to need that. So you just hit OK. The other thing is you're going to go back there. I don't know why I closed it, but you want to get the IP address and the gateway of your computer. Okay, that's going to be another thing we're going to definitely need. So not in the sharing tab, but in the networking tab, go down to where you see here the Internet Protocol version 4, okay, TCP/IP4. You can right click on that, or just hit Properties. Alright, don't right click on it. Alright, just click it and then just hit Properties. Now this is the information you're going to need right in this circle. Okay, you got your IP address. That's going to be the IP address for your computer. Alright, so write that number down just on a square sheet of paper. Subnet mask, it's going to automatically populate 255.255.255.0, and then your default gateway, which is really your router's IP address. My router, pretty much everyone's router is 192.168.0.1, and your preferred DNS server is the same as the gateway. So just write these numbers down and make a note of them, because we're going to need those to put into the PlayStation. Okay, now if you are using a laptop, which you can, to connect with your PS2, you're going to have to just bridge this connection, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. Now I'm just going to get out of here. One of the other things that you're going to want to do, so right now, just to reiterate, okay, we have gone to the XLINK Kai website. We have registered. Alright. Make sure you don't use a Yahoo or Hotmail email address. Then you go back and you just download the program, no problem. Okay. Then you're going to go in here. If you have the three icons here on your desktop, or they might already be here in your start menu, like I mentioned earlier, just go to each one individually. Okay. And then just right click, go to Properties, and make sure you just set it up so it's on XP Service Pack 2. Now, the other thing that we want to do is, which is also important, that's the thing with this program. It does work. Let me tell you, it does work very well. When you eventually turn the PlayStation on and you do start playing, I mean, it's relatively smooth. But there are a lot of other things that sometimes it's not 100% program. There are some glitches that I'm not that crazy about, but for the most part, once you're playing online, it is really fun. I mean, it's just getting online. So now back we're here and back in the control panel. Now we're not going to go to network. We're going to go down to Windows Firewall. Sometimes the firewall blocks the program, but once you download the program, all right, what you want to check is to make sure that the firewall is not blocking the program. So just go over here to allow program. Let me go back. Make sure you go on to where it says allow a program or feature through Windows Firewall. So just left click on that. Now these are a bunch of different programs that are currently being able to run through the firewall. So if you just scroll down to the very bottom, more than likely XLINK is going to be the last three. Now they're already check marked, of course, because I'm already allowing them to go through. All right, and then on the right side here, you have home, work, private, and public. Make sure there's a check mark next to each one on these three. All right, make sure they're all checked. If they're not check marked, all right, you can just click on change settings, and then you can add your check marks. Okay, but make sure those all those have check marks on them. There's something else here in advanced setting, but I don't think we have to. You can go into inbound rules if you want to make sure to allow the port, because this game, before we get into that, sometimes, and I had to do it, you have to do a port forwarding on your. It is sometimes necessary. I'm using DSL. Okay, you might have to do a port forwarding on your router, and it's very easy. I didn't really know how to do it at first, but I'm going to show you. For example, on my router, I already have it saved in my favorites. Now, I'm just gonna go to my router right now. Like I said, I already have it here. Alright, and we're gonna make that really super small there. Of course, I can't read what the hell that is now. Now, what we want to do for example, with the D-Link is I just go to port forwarding. I have a tab here. Most of your routers will have some kind of tab or security feature firewall, and you just have to go to the port forwarding one. XLINK KAI uses port for UDP, and it's going to be 30,000. You just put in your computer's IP address, which we already made a notation earlier, 192.168 for me, 1.100. You can put in your computer name, whatever. You can put in an application type. You can really call it whatever you want, really, PS2, whatever you want to do. And then it doesn't really matter so much with this game. With TCP, they're concerned with just the UDP. So for me, I would just put in IP address to computer, go over here, UDP 30,000. All right, allow all, and then just save the settings, and that will forward that port. So this way, the game will have access to run through that router without any kind of hitch. Okay.